What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video, and today we are back on the S13 build. Today we have got to sort out my fan setup. We have got both the fans and the Shroud to go on, and first of all, we got to wire up the fans, and I also want to wire up the fan switch because I do want it coming on automatically, because I don't want any sort of overheating issues. I do not want to blow up this thing. And we've got a few other things we need to get done as well. And I also need to get a few bits ordered, which will get ordered and they'll be with us very, very soon. But for now, we've got to get the Shroud on. Hopefully it's the right Shroud for this radiator. And then we've got to try to figure out how we're going to incorporate the switch to work with the fans. So as we work that out, I will show you how we're going to do it and how you can also do this on your own car. This will go for any car, but this is on an S13, so it's automatically cooler. All right, looking at this, I'm not sure if we're missing something or we've got the wrong Shroud for this, but this is just what come with the car, so I naturally assumed it was the right one, but we're going to figure this out anyway. Worst case scenario, we've got to drill some extra holes, but nothing seems to be lining up. And we're also, I think we're missing some of the tabs as well. We're not the end of the world, we'll just have to drill some holes, put some bolts through for that. But I need to make sure this is gonna fit. Now, I'm not actually entirely sure. We've got some brackets welded on, so I think we are gonna be drilling quite a few holes today to make this work. So like everything on this car, it's not actually gonna be that straightforward. As you can see, as we place this down into place, we've got a slight issue of, there goes my screwdriver. We have got actually a slight issue with the Shroud hitting my chassis leg, where it's just slightly too long, just down by here. You can see we got a bit of interference with one of the nuts. If I mark that up, we'll take it back off, we'll give it a bit of a trim, and then it should line up in place, and we go ahead about drilling the holes then for the Shroud to fit. And then once we know the actual Shroud is going to fit, we may have to do a bit more trimming and that, and we can go ahead, get the fans in, and then start doing a bit of wiring, which I hate, and I know everyone who watches this also hates wiring, but it's one of those things you just sort of got to do. So let's mark this up and get this cut. Now, I don't think we could have cut that any more perfect, because that is lining up brilliantly. So what we got to do now is mark where these holes are. We could drill the holes and actually secure it nice and tightly, because the better this fits, the more air is going to be pulled through the radiator, and the greater the cooling efficiency of this is going to be. And hopefully it should outperform the old clutch fan setup on it, because we are going to E-fan. I know a lot of people prefer clutch fan over the E-fans just because I think it's the CFM or whatever, of how much air it drags through, but this is going to be just fine with the Shroud and the two fans. We're going to be laughing, we'll be fine. We don't need the old clutch fan, and especially because we haven't got a Shroud. The Shroud's very, very expensive for old stuff like this, so we're ditching that. We're going the modern way, and we have a bigger fan. I'm pretty sure we can go anywhere and get one in the country, so that's one less thing to worry about. But we'll mark these up now just so we can get these holes drilled and get these fans installed to the Shroud. Right, so after a bit of messing about, we've managed to actually get the shroud to fit now. A couple of the holes were a bit misaligned because I don't know what I'm doing, but they all fit now. It's all semi-mocked and bolted in. So we go ahead and get these fans in. Now, we have got plenty of clearance from everything. So fitment's not really going to be an issue. It's just whether or not we're going to be able to bolt this in and how we are. We have got quite a few holes, so we'll figure that one out. And if we've got enough clearance to nut and bolt them in, otherwise we might have to do some sort of riv nut insert, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So for now, we'll take this back off, mark it up on the bench, go ahead, drill the holes, and hopefully these ones should all line up because they'll be a bit easier to do. So we'll do that now. So we've managed to get the fans into it. There was a bit of trying to figure out which way it was designed to go in, but it was meant to push in through the back. As you can see, we got the two holes. As you see, we got the two holes there that line up perfectly. So we can go ahead and bolt those two through there. And then with this one, I am missing one of the standoff legs. So I'll have a look through some of the boxes, see what I got. Worst case scenario, I might have to either buy some online, or if I can't find them, I'll try to see if I can get some 3D printed. We can go from there then. But good news is it has been cut and the holes have been drilled, so it seems to be lining up with how it should. So that's off to a good start. And there we go. That one's in there. That fan's falling on the floor. Brilliant. But yeah, it's not a perfect seal, but this is still, I would say, a big improvement over zip tying your fan straight to your radiator, which a lot of people do. I used to do it, but I've sort of grown up a bit now and experienced what overheating is, especially on my Civic. So we're moving away from that jankiness and trying to do a bit more serious, just so we can prolong the life of the engine. But enough about that. Let's try to get this one in, see what we can do, and we go ahead and wire these up. Right, so now with the fans in place, we need to figure out how we're going to wire up this switch. So I've got the whiteboard here so I can sort of explain to you what we're going to be doing. So first of all, we do want a relay because this is going to be controlling all the electrical stuff, and we don't want it going straight to the fan. We want it to be relay controlled so we can have ignition, live, and all that stuff. So we'll draw our relay here. There we go. One relay. On the relay, we've got 4-pin relay. So 87 is going to be at the top, and that's going to go to our fan live. And then on the bottom of the relay, we got 30, and that's going to our battery or any permanent live from the battery itself. You want going into the relay. And then on the right hand side, we got pin 85, which is going to switched ignition. So like your 12-volt cigarette lighter, anything that turns it on when the ignition comes on, because obviously we don't want 12-volt going to the fan constantly. And then our last pin, 86, which is going to our fan temp switch. And then with the temp switch, we have got a 2-pin switch. So we want one wire going in. This is our little temp switch thing. We want one wire going in from 86, and then the other one will just go straight to ground. So essentially what's going to be happening is once the temp switch sees its desired temperature, so it will say 100 degrees, it'll open up, switch the relay, and then it'll turn the fan on. So now I've explained, you'll be able to replicate it. So we're going to do that on the car. We'll imagine this is car, and it works. So we're going to go head straight over the car and replicate what we've just done here. Now with this, we want to strip back about 1 inch of wire, just so we've got enough to play with. Gone ahead and done is we've connected the two blue wires together and the two black ones. That's our earth, that's our live. So that's all sorted. So we'll go ahead, solder those together with some extra wire, just so we got a bit of length there to do what we need to do with it. So with the whole wiring thing, we just want to tin the wires slightly. So put a bit of solder onto that. Straight underneath, you want to be careful not to get it too hot because we will melt the rubber around the wire. Do not want to do that. So with those two wires now soldered together, we'll go back to the car now. So we sort of see how long we need to run the wires on it, because we don't want to make them extremely long or extremely too short and have to redo it. So if we drop this into place, we should just see where we're going to be running these wires to, because I've always got to think of a good place to put the relay. Probably I might put it on the strut tower, I might try hide it under there somewhere. but I do sort of want it accessible just for serviceability because it's a skid car, it's going to be coming apart, so want it to be easy to do. So we'll figure that one out as well, but we'll get this mocked into place now. We see we're going to be running the wires, so we can make it look quite tidy. So we did a little bit of thinking about where we're going to put it. I've ended up removing the power steering reservoir because we're not going to be running this setup and layout anyway, and we had some perfect holes in the chassis with threads in already to put the relay by here. I think that's a pretty perfect spot. And then with the wires for it, so the main wire that's going to be coming to the fan, for we could run it up straight around the top of there, hide it under here with some zip ties, and then have it come down the strut tower and into the relay. I think that's probably the cleanest way of doing it. And then the other wires will just run straight through into the cabin, just so it looks a bit neater. I think that's the best way of doing it, with the least amount of wires everywhere, just so it looks a bit tidier and cleaner. I think that's the best way of doing it. So what we'll do now, we'll solder on to our connections here. As we've already tinned them, we'll be able to just solder those straight on, and then we can run it through the top. And then with a couple of zip ties, we make it all look a bit tidier. Right, so with the wires now done for the live of the fan for the relay, I think that's going to tag really nicely around there. Do the switch, and we'll hide the wires straight underneath the hose. I'll hide it all, but because it's only a ground, we're going to go for the slightly thinner wire we got here in red. I know it's not live, but it's what I got, and it's what I got to make do with, and I don't care, but that's fine. Go ahead, wire this up, and then we'll find out a good ground for this as well. I'll probably end up going to the shock tower like I have. I may have to clean the threads up a bit just so I get a better ground, but we'll see now when we come to do it, and we'll test it and see how it works. That's going to work perfectly, actually. This wire is running really well under the coolant hose, so that's all going to be hidden. It's coming out exactly where the other wire is, so I'll be able to keep those all nicely together and go to there. And then with the ground wire for that, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to run it to one of these points just above or just below the relay and tie that in. So all the wires are coming to the same place just to keep it neat and tidy. It's going to look really, really professional, in my professional opinion. There we have it. That's our ground for the switch as well. We're going to run it straight to there. It's going to look tidy. That's out the way as well, which just leaves us with the ignition switch, which will be for pin number 85 on our relay, and obviously we need number 30 to the relay as well. And then with the ground on the fan, I think we'll just run it straight to there as well, tie them all in together just to minimize all the wires going everywhere, again to keep it nice and tidy. So get on with that. Unfortunately, we probably won't be able to wire in the chassis side with the ignition switch, only because the harness isn't in the car. So that's in the box over there actually, and with the box in there, it's just ready to go then for when the harness can be sorted. And when it comes back, I just tap straight into it then. We've only got one thing to do. So there's that, which then just leaves us with doing the grounds and bits and bobs of that. So we'll go ahead, finish off this fan, and then we can start, I may lay the wires into the car. So I got all the links and everything there ready. So we've got that left. So we'll go ahead, get this wired up, and we'll almost sort it then. And just like that, we are all wired into the relay with the ground bit as well. What I will need to do, I will need to go to the shop and get some little eyelets for the grounds, because for some reason the ones I have disappeared and gone wonky, so I need to pick up another set of those just so we can tie the strut tower in as a grounding point. I still need to get some grounds to the engine as well, so when I go to the shop to pick those up, I'll grab some ground / ear straps for the engine, which I need to do. And then I have got quite a few other things I need to get ordered for this, which I'll get sorted tonight. I still got to buy I got to buy all the bits to install my rear quarter glass, which I'll get ordered up tonight, and they should be here in a few days. Same with the stuff I got to order to put the carbon roof on as well, so I need to get that ordered so we can get the carbon roof installed. So that's all sorted. I have found an exhaust. I found a ISR exhaust. It's a twin tip out the back. It's not too aggressive. It's not quite the shotgun style I was going for, but what I was thinking, we can put that on there for now, And then when we want to go for that extreme sort of shotgun style out the back, we can cut the tips off, weld some longer ones on, some bigger ones. But I just didn't really want to, I want feel in the Jap can for this. I sort of want it to be nice. So I need to get that ordered. I also need to get the downpipe ordered for the turbo. I have got a stock one in the corner over there under all those parlour parts, but I'm thinking I'm going to go for a nice, I think it's a 3-inch downpipe, trying to do a 3-inch system, just so we can extract as much power out of this little baby RB we possibly can. So I need to get that sorted. I'll get that ordered tonight as well. Wing mirrors as well. I'm not a huge fan on the stock wing mirrors, so I think I'm going to order some GK Tech aero style mirrors. They sort of look like Ganadors. They're not real ones, and I'm not paying, what are they now, like 1,500 quid, 2 grand for a set of Ganadors for an S13. I'm not feeling that, because someone's going to knock it off and I will cry. So I got all the GK Tech ones, are about 200, I think they're about 200 euro, so it's probably going to come to about 180 pound or so, plus postage by the time they land and get to me. So I need to get those sorted, and then obviously the wiring harness will be going off now in the next couple of weeks, so we need to get that sorted. That's already in the box ready to go along with everything it needs. I just need to take the headlight motors out. I think I'll send those away with him just so we can check those as well. I think we were having some issues with those, so we need to do that as well. And then we also need to get the air filter ordered, so I need to figure out what size the Z32 MAF outlet or intake side, whatever you call it, I need to figure out what size that is so I can get the correct air filter ordered for that, so we can mount that in there as well, because I don't fancy running the car without one, because I do not want to blow up my new turbo that I've just had. It's been rebuilt with Turbo Technic internal, so it's actually a tidy turbo. It's not your Chinese Max Pedo rods turbo, so that's actually good. So I want to keep the longevity of that as long as I can. And then also then with the interior, I still need to get a seat sorted. I've been looking at a few. I found a couple of 180SX seats. I've been thinking about going. I'm not sure how I'm feeling on the vibe of them, but it's a bit of a toss-up between like a stock reclining seat or bucket seat. I just got to sort of figure that out. And also I need to get a hydro into this thing. I know Wilkins is trying to sell me one, this one that unscrews on. It's pretty cool. I just need to figure out how I'm going to mount it. With the lack of space in these cars, I don't actually know what I'm going to do it, and I really do not fancy cutting up my center console to fit it either. So I'll have a look what sort of space I got with the leg. If I can go between the gear shifter and the steering wheel, I will, as long as it's not going to be digging into my leg. Otherwise we'll have to sort some out, and we might have to cut the interior up a little bit to make it work, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But apart from that, I'm quite happy with how we've managed to get this fan and all sorted. Obviously I need to get some heat shrink or some black electrical tape onto these. I need to get the connectors so I can do the grounding, but at least I've shown you now how to wire it in, and it is pretty much 99% wired in. I just got a few bits I need to button up, which I will do off camera once I've got the connectors, because I thought I did have them here, but unfortunately I don't, and all the shops are shut now, so I won't be able to get that sorted. But anyway, as you can see, we will be running these wires up there. We've got some black electrical tape just to blend it in a bit, and it'll come round there, under there, and then we'll use some zip ties to keep it up above this frame rail section there. What is that? Oh, a bit of solder. We'll leave that there. But yeah, it should be tidy by here. It won't be too eye intrusive, which will be fine, but I'm happy with that. Obviously I still need to get a couple of Jubilee clips on these, but for now we'll leave that. And also with the expansion tank overflow, I'm not too sure where I'm going to have it yet. I may try to tuck it down in the corner down there, or somewhere along the bulkhead. I'm going to have a look at Wilkins's and see how he's got his located, because I do need one of those. But I have been looking at the aluminium ones and they do look pretty cool. And also the same with the washers. I need to figure out what sort of washer bottle to go on here. I may go for the bag type, just to hide it out the way, because the stock one is really big and intrusive. I don't really know where to go. I could go down here, I could toss them in there, or even on the other side where that little standoff leg thing is. But I still need to sort of figure that one out to see what I'm going to do with it. But anyway, that is the end of today's video. I really hope you did enjoy this more of technical explaining, trying to show you how to do things sort of video. So let me know down below if you did enjoy this style of video. Otherwise we'll go back to like the vlog style, where we got a few more bits done to the car and it's not as in depth. But anyway, let me know down below. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram just by here at KSwapFin, because I do post a lot more updates on the car over there than what you see over here on the YouTube. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I will see you lot in the next video. Peace out.